Hi, this is Tanya Reed from Read, Run, Study, coming to you with a first for this channel, which is a book haul, specifically from BookOutlet. BookOutlet recently had a really great deal going where you could get $10 off of a purchase if you spent $30 or more before shipping. So I actually ended up making two purchases within that same weekend that deal was running, spending a total of about $52, I think, and buying a ton of books. It's been about a week and a half, and I know what some of the books are, but like many people, I have definitely forgotten what all I ordered. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So the first book that I have is The Rhythmatist by Brandon Sanderson. And honestly, I know very, very little about this book. I've seen it on a couple of BookTube channels, and I've also obviously heard of Brandon Sanderson, but I've never actually read anything by him. This was supposed to be a scratch and dent copy, and I am seeing a little bit of a dent up here, so I see why it was called that, but this is otherwise in very good condition. Honestly, I've received books in worse condition from Amazon as advertised as brand new, so I'm happy with that. Next we have Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde. This is a book I've heard a lot of good things about, but hadn't seen in stores or really thought about picking up until I saw it on BookOutlet. I believe it's a dystopian novel, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken. But like I said, I've heard really good things about it, so I'm definitely interested in picking it up. Holly, you are not helping. Next, we have A Lovely Love Story by Edward Monckton. I laugh because this is a book I completely picked up on a total whim. I think it was like $1.50. I needed like $1 more or something to get to the total of $30 spent to get the $10 off. So this looked like the perfect little add-on book. It actually has really good ratings on Goodreads. So yeah, but it's like little bitty tiny book. I could probably read the entire thing like right now. But yeah, cute little book. Holly, you're gonna have to shush. Next we have Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac by Gabriella Zevin. I've seen this one a few times on BookTube lately. I know Ariel Bissett talks very highly of it. So this was one that I found very cheaply. I think it was like $2.50. So I decided absolutely can give it a shot for that. I've heard some mixed things about it, to be honest. But like I said, I've heard really good things about it, but then I've also heard some sort of negative ones. So picked this up. And I didn't know this was going to be hardback. This one's going to be a little shiny, but the next book is Please Ignore Vera Dietz by A.S. King. Again, this is one I've heard a lot more the author than the book. I've heard a lot of really good things about the author on BookTube, and so I saw this book for a good price and decided to give it a shot. I actually wasn't expecting it to come in hardback. I guess it was listed as hardcover, but yeah, this is a nice book. So this one suffered a little bit in packaging, but that's okay. This is The Dangerous Alphabet by Neil Gaiman. I have read a lot by Neil Gaiman, as you all might know if you've visited the blog. And I own a lot by him, but I actually don't own many of his children's books. and this is one that my library actually does not have, so I wanted to read it. I saw it on BookOutlet. It was the last copy, and I decided it needed to be mine. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I might actually read this tonight. Next we have Let Me In by John. I'm not going to even attempt the rest of that. This is a book, I think it was recently actually made into a movie, or recently, like a few years ago maybe. It's one that I don't know a whole lot about. I believe it is a horror novel. It looked really interesting and has really good ratings, so I decided that it was worth a shot. I think BookOutlet just makes you buy lots of things you wouldn't normally buy. Yeah, a little annoyed by that sticker, but it's okay. And the last book in this box is If You Find Me by Emily Murdoch. This is a book that I saw on Goodreads a couple of times as like a recommended because you've read other things type of book. And I kind of put it out of my mind because that's what you do. But I saw it on BookOutlet and decided to look into it a little further, and it sounded really interesting. This is about a girl who was abducted and I believe living in a camper in the woods with her abductor, and she is then found and brought into mainstream society, and I think it's basically about her coping with that. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember from the synopsis. So, yeah. I think that's all that's in that box. The first book in this box is Airborne by Kenneth Opel. This is the same author who wrote the Silverwing trilogy, which I really, really enjoyed as a kid. I need to reread that, but I saw that he had a few other books out. This one I don't know a whole lot about, but I believe it's a steampunk book, and it has very good ratings from what I have seen. It basically just seemed like an interesting story, and I like the author's works when I've read them before. So I went ahead and picked this up. Now for the book that started it all. The next book is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is a book that I absolutely adored when I read it about 6 months ago, but I read a library copy and have been trying to find a copy for myself ever since then, and I just haven't been able to find a copy at a price that I could actually afford until I spotted this at BookOutlet, and I was super, super thrilled. So this is really the book that triggered this entire book haul. Next is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valente. This is a book that I saw on BookTube a lot for a little while, and everybody seemed to think that it was really unique and really cute. I have been eyeing it in the stores, but it wasn't something that I was going to pick up until I saw it on BookOutlet, and then I decided that now was a great time. Go ahead and fill out this order. It looks really adorable. I really like this cover, and I'm hoping that it is as cute as it sounds. Next is A Confusion of Princes by Garth Nix. As many of you know, if you've seen my other videos or if you've visited the blog, Garth Nix is one of my favorite authors. He wrote the Abhorsen trilogy, which is pictured in the background over there on the shelf. I really, really enjoy that trilogy, and I have wanted to read more by him. I have read a couple of his other books, but this is, I think, one of his newer ones, and it was a good price. I've heard a little bit of mixed things about it, but for the price and being an author that I want to read more of, it was a good deal for me. Next is Wreck This Journal, which is not really a book, but is actually a basically activity book. And this is one that I've seen a lot of people complete on their channels, and it looks really cute and like a lot of fun. And I'm not somebody who normally writes in books or who journals. I was always one of those kids who started a diary or something, and then I would quit after like 3 days. So a book like this seemed like a really good opportunity to just encourage myself to have fun with a book and writing in it and just enjoying it and not worrying about writing every day or anything like that. This was a scratch and dent copy, and you can kind of tell down here there's definitely some messed up part of the book, but considering that it's a Wreck This Journal that you're supposed to destroy, like, I'm pretty sure there are parts where you're supposed to take watercolors to it. I think a scratch and dent copy is perfect. And last, but certainly not least, is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is a book that I have been dying to read, but I've been on the wait list for my library for a while now. I have heard tons of people on BookTube talk about how they really relate to the main character. I think her name is Kath, because she is really into like the internet, and I think she's like starting college or something in the book. So it definitely sounds like a character that I can relate to, and a book that I'm really looking forward to. I've liked Rainbow Rowell's first book that I read, Attachments, but I haven't read anything else by her. This seemed more up my alley than some of her other books, so I'm probably going to go ahead and start this week. Ooh. So here is my stack of books from the BookOutlet that were purchased during my crazy book buying spree that was triggered by BookOutlet's lovely $10 off a purchase deal. There are 14 books here. I think I spent about $50 to $55, which basically amounts to, I believe, less than $4 per book, which is fantastic when you consider the fact that about a third of these are hardcovers, and they are quite popular books. These are not just like crap bottom of the bin type books. So I am really happy with this purchase, and I am really looking forward to reading these. However, I'm not looking forward to finding space for them on my bookshelf. I don't have room for them, so we'll see how that goes. But I think that's the trouble we all run into as book lovers, especially book lovers who spend time on the internet finding new books to love. I hope that you all had a great day and that you enjoyed watching my lovely little book haul and listening to my cat interrupt me every 5 seconds.